Hey everyone, it's Jordan from Fishkeeping Made Easy, and today I'm going to give you a quick video on the reasons why I kinda regret buying my Geophagus. Now, just a quick disclaimer, I knew exactly what I was getting into when I bought the Geophagus. I just didn't think that some of the behaviours and some of the things that people were saying were actually that true. Now, obviously, I still love the Geophagus. He's such a character in the tank, and of course people absolutely love him too, but here are some of the reasons why I do regret actually getting him. First off is the size that the Geophagus got to. Now, like I said, I knew the Geophagus could grow to a maximum size of around 28 centimetres. I just didn't expect him to grow that size in about a year. I did have two other Geophagus. One was a male, one was a female. One of the males was about half the size of the Geophagus I have currently, and the female was half the size of that male. So, you know, when he started growing, it was like, yeah, he's a giant. So these fish are quite hard to differentiate between when they're younger. So I didn't realise, obviously, I had two males and a female until they started to get bigger. So obviously, because he was twice the size of the other male, he completely dominated that tank. So, and the same with the female as well. They did pair up, but he did damage the female quite often. So I rehomed the pair to one of my friends, which was unfortunate. Also, because he was a lot bigger, his mouth was a lot bigger, and this meant that he started to eat some of the smaller fish in my tank that weren't even that small. He ate a fully grown male apistogramma, and after that it was like, I don't know what else I can actually add to this tank because he's just going to eat it. Any other sort of cichlid or large fish he's just going to fight with. So I haven't really added anything to the tank since then. Another reason I kind of regret getting a Geophagus is the constant digging. So again, this is a behaviour that I was well aware of, I just didn't realise the extent. Sometimes he properly just moves all the sand from one side of the tank to the other. He obviously destroys any plants. He's super destructive, even moves wood as well, which I really didn't expect. So that's one thing to expect with them, is that they basically just redecorate your tank, rescape the tank however they see fit. Another problem with the constant digging is that he spits sand all over the tank and also spits it directly into the filter, and this has led to the filter being partially blocked on many occasions. Now, another issue is not one I have now, but one I had in the past, and that is that they are far too easy to breed. So once I'd got rid of the other male, the male that I've got now and the female kept pairing up, and they just kept having batch after batch after batch. Now, the male Geophagus that I have here kept eating them as well, which obviously isn't the nicest thing in the world to see, but when they were breeding and pairing up, they were just constantly digging all the time. They were fighting with any other fish, and basically the breeding behaviours just didn't stop at all. Now, one of the other issues I have with the Geophagus is feeding. Now, I know in my care guide I said that basically they'll eat anything, but currently my Geophagus is in with a fire eel, and I feed that fire eel live shrimp, I feed it worms, and now the Geophagus will also only eat those foods. Now, I have spoken to a few other people and they've said exactly the same thing. Once the Geophagus kind of gets a taste for prawns or shrimp or worms or any kind of big meaty foods, they tend to go off like their pellets or any sort of frozen food that you can offer them. Before, my Geophagus would just suck up bloodworm cubes or beef heart cubes, and now he just lets them fall and doesn't touch them at all. So obviously it sounds like I really don't like my Geophagus, but trust me, this fish is a brilliant fish. I absolutely love him. I wouldn't give him away at all. People ask all the time, because people always ask me, like, what's the worst fish you've got and the best fish you've got? And I'll tell them the best fish I've got is my Geophagus, which is also the worst fish that I've got. I just think that I've learned my lesson with Geophagus and these other sort of large South American cichlids. It's not something that I would buy again or I would put into a community tank, and I wanted to make this video just to kind of show people that some of the behaviours that people talk about they aren't exaggerated at all. Basically, if it says it's going to get to 30 centimetres, it will be 30 centimetres within a year or so. It will dig your whole tank up, it will eat anything that can fit in its mouth, and basically they're super aggressive and dominant to other fish that they don't like. But on the other side of this, these fish are super intelligent, they're very interactive, you can feed them by hand, they look amazing, and basically they're just like big dogs in a tank. And because of all that, I would never dream of giving this guy away. Ideally, what I want to do is have a sort of massive South American tank, and he'll be able to go into that. Obviously, him being the only cichlid in there, other than maybe a couple dwarf cichlids, with there being enough space for them to hide and stay away from him. So, should you get this fish? Well, if you still want this fish after this video, then I would definitely get it, but obviously be aware that these things can happen. So, as always, thank you for watching. If you liked the video, don't forget to subscribe and also like this video, and I will see you in the next one.